Very
And
good.
so we are live. This is Hugh, Ballou, and Russell Dennis, and tonight we're tackling the top issues that keep leaders from experiencing the success that they deserve. We have people watching on the webinar. If you want to raise your hand or ask a question, if you're on the webinar, please do that. If you're not, you're on Facebook, you can go to NonprofitChat.org, NonprofitChat.org, and find the link, and you can be a participant in the conversation, and we will certainly look at your questions. Where are the questions, Karen? They are on. We're gonna tell you what the questions are, but they're released. There's 5 questions that will be released during the hour. And if you look on Twitter for hashtag NonprofitChat and Facebook, then you will find the questions posted, and you can respond to them. If anybody listening wants to respond to the questions, please use the hashtag NonprofitChat and A, like question 1, Q1, you would say A1, NonprofitChat, here's my answer. So we find that a lot of people are responding on Facebook as well as on Twitter. And then if you go to nonprofitchat.org, you can find how to join us on the webinar. So Russell Dennis, how are you tonight, sir?
Very good, very good. Had a wonderful Easter, and life is very good. A lot of exciting things going on here in the Denver metro area with nonprofits.
That's great. That's great. Russell's been with me just about every time since we started these live chats on Tuesday at 7 Eastern. And I take a great risk at having Russell here because he has such wisdom. He might show me up more time than not. So he usually has these profound little things he puts into the play. But Russell has had numbers of years. I sort of guessed. I thought it was at least 50 years that you and I combined have in working with nonprofits. Would that be close?
That'd be pretty accurate, yes.
Yeah. So we ought to be smart. We ought to at least have some sense for how to get to the right answers. And I don't know about you, but I made all the mistakes. And so I know a lot of things that don't work. Kind of like Thomas Edison, he invented the light bulb. It took him 10,000 tries. He said, I found 9,999 things that don't work.
Right.
So we're going to pick up right here. This is Nonprofit Chat, where we also will have this on the Nonprofit Exchange podcast. And there'll be a link on nonprofitchat.org for finding the Nonprofit Exchange. It's where you can find these interviews forever. And if you go to nonprofitchat.org, you can register and have alerts for what's coming up, and also takes you to a page where we're starting to put all the archives. And we have about 3 years worth of archives of interviews with thought leaders. So Russ, let's, Russell Dennis and Hugh Ballou are with you tonight. We've been around and we've worked with charities for quite a while. And we've created a list of what are some of the topics that leaders struggle with the most, and what are topics that are barriers to success for leaders. And if I could only deal with this one, well, we want to deal with all of these 5, and I know there's a lot more. And Russ, these are the 5 that come up the most for me, and I'm just going to share them again with people. They're on the website. So the things I see that limit success are no strategy, no leadership development plan, either for the leader or the team, leader burnout, which is a real big deal. There's no synergy with the team and the teams. There's no synergy within and from team to team. And then the one that's the real kicker is there's insufficient capital to do the work that we're called to do as a charity. Would those top 5 resonate with you?
Well, they would, particularly coming out of the chute with the strategy. And to me, before you actually do a strategy, you have to have a solid foundation, and that would be your vision, values, and mission, and have some clarity around that. And oftentimes you get 1 or 2 people that will come up with an idea to solve some social problems and go out there and just do it. And as they start bringing people on board, they don't do it strategically. And as a result of that, they bring people in, and I'll describe that a little bit more as we go on. But without that agreement of what it is that we're trying to get done and what the most important things are, then it's hard to develop a strategy, because you can't come up with a series of things that are most important in the sequence for getting them done. And so when you just kind of shoot from the hip, it makes it tough to get any traction.
Absolutely, absolutely. We're also there's 5 questions we're going to post that are relative to those five areas, those 5 gaps, those 5 challenges. And so the first one is, I don't know how to get people engaged with the vision. What's missing? And my approach to this, let me throw this out, and you and I can take turns at leading on the answers. I'd like to take this one if I can. I don't think people know where to be engaged unless there's a strategy. And the whole framework of what you're going to do is included in the strategy. And I have people tell me, well, I have a business plan. Will that do? Business plan is basically, in my world, a financial document that you show a banker for a loan, or you show an investor or a donor who wants to see what the business side looks like. A strategic plan is an operational plan. It's an organic document that says who does what and when. And it gives you the tactical piece along with the long-term strategy, your long-term objectives. Where do you want to be? And then the strategy tells people where they can play. So people aren't engaged because there is no strategy. So the number one problem I see is this vacuum. We have something as a leader in our brain. We haven't really